Hi friends, welcome to the channel RS Junction. Today I'm here with a tutorial which creates a bar graph using Scratch coding language. Okay, I hope you know what a bar graph is, how do we create in maths. And so basically here in this project, we are going to give some percentage marks as input in 4 consecutive years, and the project is going to create the scratch coding project is going to create a bar graph based on these inputs. Okay, so let's get started. So for your convenience, I have created a document which will explain you the steps, how we are going to begin with, how we are going to proceed, and how we are going to end. So first of all, in the Scratch, we are going to open the Scratch desktop environment, and then we are going to pick a backdrop, a graph paper backdrop, and edit it for drawing the x-axis and the y-axis. All right, let's get started. So here we have a Scratch desktop. Okay, go here and go here, choose a backdrop. Yes, scroll all the way to the bottom and choose XY grid 30 pixels. Okay, we can get rid of this cat sprite and can go here to the backdrop editor. Here we are, we can get rid of this one, yeah, and convert to vector. Okay, now we are going to draw. So here we are with the backdrop, a graph paper backdrop. Now we are going to create an x-axis and a y-axis, and we are going to write what goes on the x-axis and what goes on the y-axis. Okay, so here we are going to take a line and use it like this. Okay, we'll just select, and we can improve this to 4. Then we are going to take another line and draw it like this. Then we are going to make an arrow like this, just like as we do in maths. Then we are going to take some small lines and replicate it, yeah, like this. Then you can see Control C, Control V, and just place it three boxes apart. So on the x-axis we have put 4 marks, and on the y-axis we have put 9 marks. Okay, because like these lines, small lines. Okay, now we are going to take a text box and write years. Okay, 1 minute. uh there is text box, and here I think there is no color of it. Fill with wood. Then years, yeah. On the y-axis we are going to write percentage marks. Okay, and then select it, rotate, drag and drop here or anywhere you like, but it should be close to this. And then we can write here 10. You can make this a little bit small. Okay, then control C, control V to copy it, and you can use the mouse pointer, the up, not the mouse pointer, the up arrow on the keyboard to drag and drop it here. So you can just, yeah, put it here and edit it to 20. Similarly, you can do it up to the last this mark, up to 90. Okay. So friends, we have created the x-axis and the y-axis. We have used this line to draw these two lines and the smaller ones also on the graph paper, and also and then we have used the text box, this one, to create and write these boxes, this x-axis, y-axis, years, and everything which is on the text on the graph paper. Okay, now we are done with the step number 1, which was picking up a backdrop and editing it for drawing the x-axis and the y-axis. Now let's start with the step number 2, creating the sprites. So let's go here. Already we have created a backdrop. Okay, now let's start creating some sprites. So choose a sprite. Okay, first of all we want to know the question and answer format, like the and there should be one sprite which should ask the user for the questions. What are the questions? What is the percentage mark in 2021? What is the percentage mark? So anyone, any talking sprite you can, I mean any human sprite you can take. So let's take this one, and then you can just adjust it. Okay, and then go to the costumes. We can remove all these costumes, we don't want the sprite to move, and you can just select it, make it a little bit smaller, and flip this horizontal, yeah, like this. Okay, that's how I would like it to be. You can choose whatever you want it to be, any sprite you can choose. Okay, so now we have to replicate it, duplicate, duplicate, and duplicate, because we need 4, and then we can drag and drop each one of them like this. Okay, like this. Yeah, now this brings us to the third step, finding the length of one side of the square in the backdrop. So what is our backdrop? Our backdrop is this graph paper, and now we want to find out the length of the side of one square. Okay, so for that, one idea I have figured out, that we are going to take two sprites. Okay, we are going to take two sprites, and here we are going to create one small dot, so small circle, like, okay, and we are going to put it here. Then let's replicate it, basically duplicate, and then this sprite, so I'm going to take two sprites and put it on the vertices of the square. Yeah. Now go to the code. Yeah. Then select this sprite number 5, which is the bottom the sprite and the bottom small dot. Then you go here to the motion and check this. Okay. Then go to the another sprite number 6, and then you go to the motion and select again Y position. Now you have the two Y positions, one of sprite number 5 and one of sprite number 2. Basically, now we know that on the Y axis, where is sprite number 5 and where is sprite number 6. Now we can just subtract these two values and get the length of the side of the square. Now we can do a subtraction of 144 and 84. We can ignore the minus signs for now because these indicate that we are on the negative side of the y-axis. That's it. So you can just ignore the negative these minus things, minus signs, and then you can this do in the calculator you can just subtract it. Minus 84, which is equal to 30. Okay, so we know that length of the side of the square is 30. Okay, now let's dive into coding. First of all, we are going to this is this now we have started the coding steps. Okay, so this is our sprite Abby, and this Abby will ask. So first of all, we are going to get this the hat block, and now we are going to do what? We are going to make Abby ask questions from the users. So go to sensing, go to ask what's your name, and what's your name, and wait. Here you can say please enter percentage marks in 2021. Okay, then go to control. No, not control. Actually, you have to go to events, and then you have to go to broadcast a new message. So whenever I receive the answer of this question, I want to broadcast a message to the sprite number 1. What is the message? Draw bar 1. Okay, and sensing, we have to enable the answer. I mean, so that we can see what is here, or maybe you, if it's up to you, you can enable or disable. Then basically when this will be clicked, the green flag will be clicked, executed. So it will this Abby will ask what is a percentage marks in 2021. Okay, and then we are going to broadcast a message draw 1 to bar 1. Now we are going to, when I receive draw bar 1, then what this sprite is supposed to do? This sprite is going to is now we need a formula. What formula? Okay, that I will show you. Formula for calculating the target Y position of the sprite. So here we know that these bar graphs are they actually grow in the direction of the Y axis. So basically, if I know the side length of one square, and I know the answer. What is the answer? That the percentage marks which this user is entering. So I came up with this one formula. So what we are supposed to do? We are going to multiply the side of the square times answer divided by 10. So what are we doing here actually? If the answer is 30%, so we divide it by 10, we get 3. then we multiply it with the length of the square, okay, and then we add it to the beginning position, y position of the sprite to get the end y position, okay. Yeah, this is the formula. Now let's fill in the values. Let's say the user enters, let's say the user enters uh, 50%, okay. So the target or the y position, the target y position will be equal to beginning y position of the sprite. So what is the beginning y position of the sprite? Minus, yeah, it is minus 153, okay. So we are going to put it here, minus 153 plus side length of one square. So okay, what is the length of the side of one square? 30 that we calculated here. Here we have already calculated it with 30. Then times, what is the answer? We have entered 50, let's say 50 percentage marks. Then divide by 10. What is the value? So what it will be? It will be minus 150. Let's solve it step by step. Plus, so first the division will happen. Then 5 times 1, it will be 150. And this, it will be minus 3. We all know our algebra. Okay, so we have done this calculation and this answer is minus 3. So what is the target position? Minus 3. Now what we have to do here, we have to go to repeat until. We have to take a loop. Okay, so from here it should grow up to the target y position, the graph. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we are going to control repeat until, and then we are going to operators, yeah, here this one, then going to get the y position of this y position. If y position is equal to, what is equal to, operators, because we have our formula here, okay, we have to put this here, beginning y position of the sprite. What is the beginning y position of the sprite? So according to the formula, we have to take one, this plus block, one multiplication and one division, okay. So what are we going to do? We are going to take plus here, we are going to put, according to the formula here, we are going to put minus 153, which is the beginning y position. Then we are going to have a multiplication block. Where is yeah, here, multiplication, and this will be 30 times, as you can see from here, 30 times 50 divided by 10. So let's take a division here, and here we have to get the answer here, and then divide by 10, and then drag this here. Now change y by 1. Change y by 1. And in order to actually draw these sprites, I am going to use one extension, pen, draw with your sprites. And here we are going to stamp it in a loop, okay. One more thing I want to show you is that when I start the execution, I want to set, yeah, x to minus 125 One more thing I want to show is that when we start, we have to erase everything. Okay, so let's introduce it here. Go to the full screen, execute it. So it's, let's say, 80% marks in 2021. You can see that the graph is being made. Yeah. So our project is almost done. Now we can just replicate these steps for the other sprites too. So friends, I have figured out one mistake. Earlier in the tutorial from the beginning, I have been telling you here broadcast drawbar. There are two: broadcast drawbar, broadcast the message, and broadcast and wait. So we are supposed to use broadcast and wait, so that whenever it asks, like for example, if I execute it, it should wait for the next entry. Like here, if I am entering 55%, it will first draw and then ask for the next question. So this is the modification that I have done, and it is important to do because otherwise it will mess up with the answers. Okay, so yeah, so you can, as you can see here, this is the code of the Abby and sprite number one. We have already done this. I've shown how to make it. I'm going to copy it, the same code here, and set the values to these. X and Y only will change here, and the rest of the code will remain. And the drawbar to this, basically this will you have to change. And the code is replicated. Similarly, you can do for, like we have done for the first sprite, we can do for all the three sprites. And that's it, we are done. We can execute the code once. So let's say 85%. Then 50%. 68%. And then 90%. That's it. Thank you for watching.